It just brings it all back, you know.
What's happening, Free Game? We are coming to you live, but not live, from London in our home. We are back after our lovely trip in Paris, and Minnie Mouse has joined us here.
Yeah, look.
There's the hood coming on, it really is. Oh, goodness.
Mm.
We're not doing a whole video like that.
No, I won't do it all like that. It's cute though.
It's very cute. We're really excited to do this video. Thank you so much for all of the questions you've asked about Jojo homeschooling. There's so many, I've got them all on the laptop here.
So if you see us looking down, that's why.
We're not being rude. A lot of you guys have asked similar or the same questions, and we're not going to be saying who asked what because there are so many. So if you hear your question come up, you know that you asked it. And Jojo, by the way, is actually in Jamie's room. He will be joining us at the end of this video because you guys have got some questions specifically for him, so stick around for that.
And can I just say, stay tuned till the end of the video because Bob has got something really special to share with you guys that he wrote when Jojo left school.
Well, let's get this Q&A underway first then. The first one, has Jojo ever been to a school or has he been homeschooled for his entire life? No, he's had the first 2 years of school. He went to a Montessori nursery, and then he had the first year in reception, and then he went into year 1. But instead of going into year 2, that's when we took him out and started homeschooling him. Was Sam and Jamie homeschooled? And if not, or if so, why? No, they weren't, and it was never on our radars really. We didn't even really know about homeschooling.
Yeah, I knew about homeschooling, but I didn't know if it was an option. You were working full time. Yeah, I had a job. And I asked them recently if they feel jealous that Jojo's homeschooled and they weren't homeschooled, but they said no, we wouldn't have wanted to be homeschooled. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have homeschooled them. I don't think they would have wanted to be homeschooled. Why did we start homeschooling Jojo? We actually did a video all about this, 10 reasons on why we started homeschooling him. You can check that video up in the corner, it'll give you a lot more detail, but in general we just felt it was best for him. You know, we just felt that it would serve him better with his learning, with his confidence, just his development in general really. But there's lots of other reasons, so it's worth checking that video out. Is there any specific schedule you go by? We don't really have any strict schedule there. It's not a strict schedule, but we tend to just go with what Jojo wants. He wakes up at 7. We start at 7 normally and go through till 12 because that's what he wants. Yeah. If you want to see our morning routine, we have done a video on our morning routine. But yeah, we've just found a really lovely routine in the morning. It sort of works for all of us. That routine really only applies when we're at home. When we're travelling, we do have a homeschooling box which we take around, which has all his things in there, his books, pens, things like that. But we don't stick to any kind of routine when we're away. Yeah, because obviously environments and everything change, and sometimes the travelling and environment is something new for him to learn about as well. After 12, that's when we do vlogging, or we'll go out, or we'll do other stuff. His learning doesn't stop at 12, but that's when the structure stops. Yeah. The reason we don't vlog in the morning is because it would be difficult to give him our full attention and be vlogging at the same time. Do we know other families that homeschool? Yes, lots. We knew loads of homeschooling families before we started homeschooling, and we've met lots since then. It's really good because we learn lots of things from them and they learn from us as well. And Jojo's friends with many kids as well. Yeah, and he's made loads of friends that way as well. Do you follow a set curriculum when homeschooling Jojo? And as he gets older, will you consider online schooling? As we said, we've got our structure in the morning. The only things that we kind of say are necessary for him in his development are maths, reading, and writing. Like, those are the key things he needs to go out in the world. He's also doing Spanish regularly in the morning. He even started doing French. After Paris, he's like, I want to learn French. Yeah, so he's doing 2 languages at the moment. As for online schooling, we use some online resources. There are so many out there, but you use Spanish online, don't you? Yeah, there's quite a few different things online that we use. There's a few different sites as well that are designed for homeschooling or things to learn from home, even for kids that are in public school. So yeah, there's plenty to choose from. And maybe as he gets older, he might have more, he might have less, we don't know. What subjects does he do in a day? So we said, maths, English, Spanish, the reading and writing, but also other things will come in according to what he enjoys and what he's interested in. So like he's done some painting earlier today. Was it yesterday you were making something with old cereal boxes and something, weren't you? Yeah, I guess that comes under art, doesn't it? Yeah, and there's lots of other new things he's starting to learn as well. He's learning about music, he's going to get piano lessons, he's going to learn about woodwork as well. Lots of different things he's interested in. He does acting, school, parkour, swimming,
trampolining.
So I guess that would come under PE.
It's like his life is one big PE lesson, isn't it?
Yeah.
How does Jojo do tests like SATs and 11 plus papers?
He doesn't do any tests.
He doesn't have to do it, it's not a requirement.
I feel that it would be too stressful for him anyway.
Yeah.
So luckily when he was in school, they didn't do those kind of tests. I think it would have started in year 2 with SATs. So yeah, he was very lucky because I think he would have found the whole thing very stressful.
What good advice do you have about homeschooling and what would you like to accomplish from it? I guess for advice, you just got to know what supports your child best, what makes them thrive, what environments, what things will support them best. We are not 100% saying that homeschooling is for every single child. There are some kids that thrive in a schooling environment and only in a schooling environment. So I guess you've got to know what works best for your child. This is something we decided for a very long time, so we had to really evaluate, is it best for him? Will he get the best out of it? And in a year that's gone by, I think, he has.
And we're always learning from it. You've got to listen to your children. What do they want to do?
Yeah.
We're always learning from him how to do things better, all sorts of things.
And as far as accomplishments, I just want him to be the best he can be, learn what he wants to learn and just follow his joys. And, it's our job to support him to make sure he gets those things in life or whatever they may be.
I think it's what every parent wants for their child. You want your child to be happy. That's like paramount. And that's what we feel. We just want him to be happy and live a full life and do all the things that he wants to do. And
I guess in homeschooling, we have direct influence of him achieving those goals in his life, don't we?
Yeah.
Is it expensive? Oh no, I hadn't even really thought of an expense. I don't feel like we're spending anything.
No, well, we just manage our money really well. In London, we have so many amazing resources. We have the best parks ever, like anywhere. The museums,
the
Natural History Museum, Science Museum are all free. We're joined with a few homeschooling groups and there's so many resources on there telling you where to find free things. There's free art lessons out there, dance lessons.
Yeah.
Like I said, we recycle a lot of things like cereal boxes and things like that. We'll take all these things he wants to donate once a month to a charity shop and then he'll go around the charity shop and choose things like one time we got a spirograph so that he can draw certain patterns and things like that.
Yeah.
We get games there, all sorts of things. I mean, some things you have to buy new paints, pens.
We had an abundance of that stuff already, didn't we? Pens, paper.
Yeah. The thing is, most parents buy stationery for their children anyway, regardless of if they're homeschooled or they go to normal school.
I don't think we bought any new pens since he's been homeschooled because he had so many.
He had so many. And when it's his birthday, people often give gifts of pens, paper, pencils, all that kind of thing. We bought some exercise books to help him practice his handwriting. But again, we bought those things for him when he was at school because we always like to do extra things for him to help support him at school. I mean, we're just very, very good at managing our money anyway. As you know from our video when we went to America for 6 weeks, a lot of people were saying, how did you afford that? And then when we did the video about how we afforded it, people were like, oh my goodness, I can't believe how you managed to go and how cheap it was. And a lot of people said that they'd probably go off the back of that video. So in general, we're just really good at managing our money.
Well, this is a good question. Is it fun to homeschool Jojo?
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
We have the most fun.
We come up with all different ways of teaching him with fun games and everything, don't we, as well?
Yeah.
And I guess it's just nice having him here all the time, isn't it? Oh, this is a funny one. What about socialisation? And they've got 3 laughing emojis, look. Now, in all seriousness, has home education lived up to your expectations? It's beyond my expectations. I didn't know what I expected, to be honest.
I was a bit nervous at first because I didn't know how it would be, but just to see him now and just see how much he's thriving and how confident he is. And he's just like a different boy, isn't he?
Yeah, it's just nice as well. I think I had in my head before, you have to be this serious teaching stuff like that, and you don't realise how much you know about teaching kids because obviously you've gone through it yourself, and as parents we're the first teachers anyway. We get used to communicating information to our kids in general. We had to do that a lot with Jojo when he was young.
It's definitely exceeded our expectations.
How much does it cost with books? And is there a criteria of what he has to learn so you follow a plan? Like I said, we haven't really spent anything on books or anything.
I mean,
like
he
that.
had, when he was in normal school, tons and tons of books.
Yeah, over 100.
And he loves the library. All
Free books,
all the books there are free, and they do have books at the library which help you with homeschooling as well.
For criteria, there's no criteria we have to follow. We are the ones that judge on this. There is obviously a national curriculum which we have a rough idea about, and we can reference if we want to get ideas or know what things can be helpful for him. But as I said earlier, we just structure it to what we find is necessary for him and also what he's interested in and enjoys. Would you let Jojo go to mainstream school if he wanted, or would you rather keep him at home? Oh no, absolutely, we'd let him go if that's what he wanted.
Yeah, 100%. If he wanted to go tomorrow, he would go.
Yeah.
We would never try and stop
No, school
him.
ends tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it's the summer holidays.
Yeah. But otherwise, yes.
Maybe we would try and think of a way of getting him into a Montessori school or something like that, a school that maybe serves him better. But yeah, definitely we would find a school that suited him if he wanted to go.
I like this one. What do you parents learn while teaching Jojo? So much! Spanish, for starters.
I'm fluent in Spanish.
No, you're not.
No, I've learnt so much Spanish, and I've learnt Spanish songs.
Yo soy un hombre.
Colores, colores.
Did we just say I'm a man and colours, colours? Off camera, Jojo has just entered the room and is now playing with Lego there. I think what I've learned the most is how simple it actually can be teaching your own child things, because you know them best, you know what they respond to, and it's amazing seeing how we as humans learn as well, and then you learn how to teach based on that as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I know what I mean.
Yeah, and things that he's interested in, if I don't know about them, then I go and find out.
Yeah.
And then I learn at the same time, so...
Yeah. And also there's things as well which we would have been maybe taught as kids because they're not taught in school, and he may be interested in. And because he's interested in, and we learn it with him, we're finding out stuff for the first time ourselves. Homeschooling all round then. Do you as parents ever feel overwhelmed with teaching him things? No, not at all. I felt very, very comfortable. Maybe I could have thought before that it could have been overwhelming, but it hasn't been.
I felt more overwhelmed with the homework that he used to get.
Yes, oh man. No, it's been quite a breeze. It's been really pleasant actually, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Does he get the social skills he needs? Yes, absolutely. He gets more social skills, if anything, because he's in a bigger variety of areas with a bigger variety of people. And he's meeting people of different ages, not just the same 30 that would be in a class, or maybe a bit more in other classes, similar ages.
I mean, we were at the park yesterday and there were some boys there, and he just went, "Can I play with you?" And the boy just went, "Yeah, it." And then they started a game of it, and
they were playing and messing around for half an hour or something.
Yeah, and you could hear them talking to each other. I think they were similar age kids, but I've seen Jojo interact with older children. He interacts really well with younger ones as well.
Yeah.
He's got so much time for toddlers and babies and adults as well. I mean, sometimes when we're at festivals and people come up to meet us and they're a bit shy and they don't know what to say, Jojo says, "Oh, hello, have you had a nice day?"
Yeah.
He leads the conversation. He's a natural leader anyway.
Yeah, especially with kids. If he ends up playing with a kid, he ends up leading the games and guiding them, and they're almost following him, what do I do?
Yeah, except when it comes to Sienna.
Yes, there's an equal energy there. They kind of lead each other.
But yeah, for the most part, he's very comfortable talking to anybody. That's one good thing about homeschooling is, say he comes shopping with us and he wants to buy something, we don't buy it for him. Say for example, it's a Lego set.
Today?
Yeah.
In Argos?
Yeah, because we've been out today. He took the thing that he wanted to buy, he took it up to the counter, spoke to the lady.
He was having a right old chin wag for ages.
Yeah. We just find he's just so comfortable in all environments. And
those of you that have met him at any festivals and stuff like that, you will know firsthand that he's very confident, he's very social, he has all of those skills that you need to engage with other people. If you do want to see him, look in the description. We have a list of the different events that we are going to be at. You can come up and meet us and you can see how sociable he is. Do we or Jojo ever feel like he would get on better at school, as he'd be able to socialise with new people? As we just said, we're very confident in how sociable he is and his social skills.
He was very confident and popular at school. He had a lot of friends at school, but I just feel like he's a lot more sociable now. Yeah, so
it's gone up, if anything, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's gone up. Also, as far as school goes, he was placed in a classroom which he didn't choose to be in. So with the things he does outside of school, like his acting class, parkour lessons, things like that. All the children there all have the same thing in common, so they get on better, you know. So in that respect, it's good. It's really good for him.
Yeah, he chooses the social circles based on his interests.
Yeah, it's easier for him to choose friends because they're all like similar things.
They're matched. Is there anything you're glad you don't have to do with homeschooling?
Yes, mornings.
The mornings.
Yeah, particularly on a cold, freezing winter's day. Because it's dark, he doesn't wake up as naturally early, does he?
No.
Because he has to get ready and there's a lot of things he has to do before we headed out the door. We had to get up even earlier. So it was still dark. He never wanted to get up. We would wake up to an alarm, which is never a nice thing.
Alarmed awake.
Yeah, alarmed awake. And it was just, the whole thing just felt very stressful. He didn't want to get up, so it was like, come on, up you get, you've got to get up. And he was like, why? And I was like, because you're going to be late. But he didn't understand so much.
Then you waste time explaining it.
He always likes to eat slowly and enjoys it. As you know, he eats a lot. So trying to rush him to eat didn't feel like the right thing to do. And then rushing him to get washed, brush his teeth, get dressed, get everything ready. And he never wanted to leave, especially on a cold day. A lot of parents have said similar things, that it's just such a struggle to get out the door, and it's just stressful.
Yeah.
It's just really stressful for the children, especially in the winter when you've got to put hats, gloves, scarves, everything on them as well. Everyone knows as well what it's like with young children. You're trying to get out the door and you think, oh yeah, I'm on time. And then something will happen, like they'll need the toilet, or they've forgotten something, or they
fall over.
And schools aren't very forgiving. His school, if we were late, we had to go through the office and then write down why we were late. And like sometimes it can be the smallest thing, like we got halfway down the road and then he needed the toilet, so we had to go back. And I felt like, why am I having to explain? I'm a grown adult and I'm having to explain this. We're only late like probably 3 times, but I just didn't even fill that part in because I thought, I'm not explaining myself. This situation is stressful enough. I've had to go all the way home to sort him out, and then come all the way, and it's stressful for me, it's stressful for him. And then the school's asking me to then fill in this form.
Yeah, in general, it was just a stressful thing in the morning, wasn't it?
I feel like I can handle a certain amount of stress, but it's well documented the effects that stress has on our bodies. And as a parent, I don't like to feel like my child is stressed over things, even though we've always been very calm with him. But you know, sometimes you've got to sort of be like, come on out the door.
Yeah, you're going to the school schedule, aren't you? That's the thing, is like you have to be by a certain place by a certain time, and that's one thing I definitely don't miss, that we have a schedule which is according to his needs. He wakes and gets dressed and everything when he feels ready. And then also there was a thing after school where he'd come out exhausted, sometimes upset, and want to carry on the way back. When you haven't seen your child for like 5 hours and you think, what's happened? You know, he's so tired, and now I left him this morning and he was happy.
He just came out absolutely exhausted. I guess it's because it's a lot for him to have to do, whereas here, if he needs a break from his learning, he has a break.
Yeah, if he wants to get outside, he can get outside. Roughly how much work does he have to complete per day? There's no requirement. Like we say, we have the things we like him to do, which we find necessary, but we follow him really and what he is capable of. Sometimes he can go, can I just do a little bit of writing, Daddy? We're like, okay, fine. And then another day, he'll do literally 8 hours as we're playing Tom Riddle's Diary, and he is writing, we're back and forth, and we can't believe how long it's going on for.
Yeah, because he likes Harry Potter, there's this thing called Tom Riddle's Diary. So you just communicate back and forth with words on the paper. And so I can ask him a question and he'll give me the answer, and then he'll ask me a question and I give him the answer. And we have done about 10 pages in a row before of that. So yeah, it's just following what he wants to do, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's no actual quota we have to follow. Okay, there's quite a few questions from this person. Did you join homeschool groups? I'll tackle these one at a time. Yes, before we decided to homeschool, when we were thinking about it, we joined some UK Facebook groups, Homeschooling UK, Home Education UK, and they're really good because they know that parents who are curious are going to have certain questions, because parents on there are ones that have gone through the same process. So they have lots of resources on there. They have a really good support community, so they will answer your questions or almost validate your feelings and thoughts. Yeah,
and we've found so many resources that way, so many like articles about homeschooling.
Yeah, you've asked if that's something we pay for. No, so it's free groups, and there's other free online sites.
There'll be homeschooling groups in every area that people live in.
I'd be surprised if there isn't a Facebook group for every single area. Should I research local homeschool groups and what I should expect from them? Facebook is a good place to start. You can do a Google search for your area. Also, do you love it, or are there days you wish he was going to school? 100% never wish he would have gone to school since we've done this. I've enjoyed every single day and the variety and just the fun experiences he gets out of it and the fun experiences we have.
Yeah, he's just always learning, and it's just so nice to see. He's just thriving.
Who teaches Jojo? It varies. I guess mostly I will do maths.
He's a maths genius. A-level maths genius.
You've done Spanish mostly. We both do reading and writing, and then whatever other things he might be interested in, again, it varies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like you've done probably more arty things with him.
Yeah.
But then I do more of the physical things with him. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just varies, yeah.
We both dance as well. We do dance with him.
I'm the better dancer though. Someone said, where does Jojo meet his friends? So this will be a variety of things, like if he goes to certain clubs or groups that he's interested in, when he goes to parks. Even on our different travels, there are people that we meet in different areas. Like last year we went down to the Canberra Sands, then we went to Brighton, then we went to the Isle of Wight. And in each location, he met up with different kids and became friends. Some of them pen pals, and we've met since again, haven't we?
Yeah, like Talmina and Wolfie. We met them at a festival. We ended up going to the beach with them. Now they're friends, and he gets on really well with them both.
Michelle and Andy and their little boy Bruce. They live in the Isle of Wight.
Bruce,
and he's good friends with them. So yeah, he meets them in all different areas. That's the great thing. Then he gets to choose where he wants. We don't depend on him getting friends at school or one particular area.
Yeah, also he plays with the children outside, outside where we live. They all love him here. Yeah, they all sort of look after him. Some of them are a bit older, so...
Yeah. He even plays with one of you free gang. You know who I'm talking about. You were playing with him outside quite recently. Did you guys teach him to read yourselves? Or was that something he learned before? No, he learned to read by the time he was like 2 years old.
Yeah.
He's had a book in front of his face since he was literally a week old. There is a picture, and I hope it's on the screen now, of me trying to read him a book. And he looks like a bored old man, like, oh, my dad won't he shut up? But he's loved books ever since, and he picked up reading very quickly, and he's a very competent reader. He's probably... He reads at the age of about 10 to 11 years old, 9 to 10.
Yeah, he's 7, but he reads like a 10 to 11-year-old. He likes chapter books, but he likes picture books as well. We went to the library today, and he got 1 chapter book and I think 4 picture books.
Also, do you have any tips for parents homeschooling their kids?
Just find your community, find a homeschooling community, get on the online groups, learn as much as you can, watch videos on YouTube about it. Communicate with your child and just find out what they want. Sit down with them and find out what the sort of things that they want to do.
And trust yourself as well. Trust that you are the parent, you are the one that brought them into this world. You are their first teacher before they even touched any sort of school, if they have been to school. Just know that you're the one that knows them best and knows what will support them best.
And go with your instincts, trust your instinct.
What are the requirements according to the government to be homeschooled?
The requirements are that you just have to deregister your child.
Yeah, if they're in school.
If they're in school, you just have to deregister them. The law states that it is your responsibility to educate your child. So school is more of something that you can opt into. The responsibility to educate a child lies with the parents. So homeschooling is perfectly legal.
Do you feel that he is restricted from learning things that he would at school? No, not at all. He will learn more. There's a national curriculum which teaches him only a certain amount, but if he wants to learn music, he doesn't have to wait until he's year 6 or 7.
Yeah,
or
sometimes at school they say we're going to start doing piano lessons in year 5. They don't normally do languages.
Until high school?
Yeah, I think they do a bit of languages nowadays, but they don't properly do languages until high school, so he can learn so much whenever he wants to learn it, really.
And we're teaching the things as well which is never even really considered in the curriculum. He learns about nutrition, he learns about his body, he learns about how his immune system works, he learns about food and everything that it contains and what different things our food does to us.
For those of you who watch all of our videos, you know that we allow our kids to do the shopping. That isn't something we just do for YouTube, that is something they do all the time. I've actually done it for years with the big kids as well. They were doing that when they were Jojo's age.
Before YouTube was actually around.
Yeah, and that's because it gives them a sense of how much things cost,
responsibility of providing for the family.
Yeah, and money and how far their money can go and how to budget for things. Yeah, now Jojo, like when we're in the supermarket, he understands all the labels and he'll say, oh, this one's reduced. Yeah, he knows that if he goes for the reduced things and he's on a budget, his money will go further. You can hear him playing there. You've probably heard him playing the whole time.
I think the great thing is that whatever his interests or joys are, he can start them whenever he wants. He doesn't have to wait until they're provided for him. Do you think that Jojo will ever have a better future in school? At the moment, no, I don't think so. But who knows? Like we say, he may choose to go into school when he's older. But based on how he's doing now and what his requirements are and what his interests are, I think that he's getting the best from homeschooling. Does Jojo not miss his old friends from public school? No, because he can still go and see them whenever he wants, and he does.
Luckily, his old school, there's a park right next door, and all the parents and children congregate in the park at the end of the day. So we tend to go down there maybe once a week. And
we're going down there tomorrow.
It's the school's last day, so all the parents and all the children will be there having their picnics, so we can just join them and he'll get to see his old friends.
But he gets invited by them for their parties and that still as well, has play dates with them, with certain ones that he's kept in touch with. One of them was at his party as well. Does Jojo ever go into school to take part in projects or plays and things like that? He doesn't ever go into his old school, but he does go back to his nursery and he reads to the little kids. He's read a few times to them. I think we actually captured it in a vlog one day. He sat there reading, and I mean, that just goes to show his social skills and his confidence that he'll go and read to the entire class. He actually went and read in a school when we went to Denmark to 2 sets of kids. Have you taken Jojo on learning trips like they have at school? Yeah, well, that's the great thing. There's all of those things available to us whenever we want. The museums, for example, we go there. There's different friends of ours that do different things of interest for him. So we've got a friend who's a fireman. He's going to go and see them. There's a person who lives on a boat. He's going to go and see them, see how they run the boat. There's other different things as well, like castles and all of these different trips. They're available for us all around the year. And the great thing is we can take him when other kids are at school and it's relatively quiet, and it means he can get a lot more out of the day, and he can even probably get the attention of people who work there to give him a tour, more information, things like that. So if anything, he's got it better in a way.
Yeah, we're lucky because we have a lot of people, a lot of friends, family,
athletes.
My brother's a policeman, so anything Jojo wants, if he wants to have like a day with him, and he can take him out and teach him all about what he does. We know 2 firemen, so he can go down the station, find out how they do everything there.
We've also got a couple of friends who are athletes as well. One's a yoga teacher, another one's a world champion parkour athlete.
Yeah, and Jojo was lucky enough to spend the day with him, and we filmed that day, and the video is absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen that video already, check that out, because I just feel like he was so lucky to have that lesson.
Yeah, and the great thing was, it wasn't just Tim, who was a parkour athlete, teaching Jojo. Jojo took it on to teach him as well and say, let's do these different things and try these different things.
I think that is probably my favourite video that we've ever done. If you watch it, you will see why.
Go on over to that video and leave us some comments on what you think, guys. We'd love to hear them as well. If Jojo was to stay homeschooled until SATs GCSEs, would he have the right education?
He doesn't have to do SATs. We're not bothered about him doing SATs. But as far as GCSEs, contrary to popular belief, you don't actually need GCSEs to go to college or university. But if he wants to do GCSEs and we feel that it's right for him, then we will
get whatever help if he needs any. You can get revision based on previous papers online and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you can do GCSEs privately. My dad recently went to university and he didn't have any GCSEs. He basically wrote an amazing essay for them and showed them what he could do, and he got into the university, and now he has a degree in photography.
And a lot of the big universities like Oxford and Cambridge have actually been known to seek out homeschooled kids specifically, because they're the sort of kids that are motivated themselves. They don't need necessarily a structure that is maybe implemented by school with a bell of where to be and what times to turn up and stuff like that. They're motivated themselves to get results and do their own things, and they really like that. So homeschool kids have been picked up by Oxford and Cambridge before, and many other ones in the US as well. Do different teachers come to teach Jojo?
Well, he goes to certain people to learn different things. Most of what he learns is from us, but if we feel like there's something we can't teach him, then he'll go to a tutor and learn from them.
Yeah, but at the moment we can cover everything. Do you recommend homeschooling? It depends on your child. It depends what serves them best. So if you're a parent, I guess you just have to know what is going to support your kid best.
If you're a kid, you've got to know yourself.
Yeah. How long do you do his lessons for? Like we said, these can vary. It depends on how much he's enjoying it. It could be something that he does writing for 10 minutes. We could do it for 8 hours. So yeah, it varies depending on...
8 hours?
Yeah, that's what it felt like when we were doing that Tom Riddle's diary, yes. How often do you homeschool Jojo, and does he get the same holidays as if he wasn't homeschooled?
That's a good question.
Yeah, at first we were doing it every day, weren't
Yeah, because we felt that that's what he needed and that's what he was more than happy to do.
we? Yeah, and he was really enthused, wasn't he?
But then we just felt like we needed more structure with it.
Because at weekends we tend to be at festivals and other events, don't we?
Yeah, so we basically started doing Monday to Friday. We always do homeschooling even in the school holidays though, because when other children are at school, we sometimes take holidays then. So
it balances it out. There's sometimes we're travelling and our morning routine won't be the same because we'll be travelling or we'll be somewhere else. So it balances it out, really, doesn't it?
So it's school holidays now. Well, the school holidays start tomorrow and we'll still be homeschooling him unless we go away at some point. Like I said, even when we are away, we take his box with us. There are certain things he does every day, no matter what. Even if it's a weekend, reading, he does every single day, 365 days a year. Even Christmas, he will read his book. So
how do you reprimand him? Firstly, we don't reprimand him.
That means discipline. We don't. We don't really discipline him.
No, we make him aware of how certain actions may make other people feel, because he's very empathetic and he makes the right decisions off the back of that knowledge.
Yeah. So, for example, if we're in a crowded place and he's jumping around a lot, and we say to him, "Jojo, you've got to stop doing that."
Yeah, you might bash into someone.
Yeah. We kneel down in front of him. We make eye contact with him, and we say, "If you were to hit another person with your foot," because he's oftentimes he's doing cartwheels and handstands, and we say if you were to hurt someone with your foot, then maybe that might make them cry or upset them. I think that works best for him. He understands completely. We often say to him, how do you think that makes the person feel? Like, say he did something naughty and we said, right, you can't have your iPad now. He would only not do that thing because he didn't want his iPad taken away.
He wouldn't learn the reason why.
He wouldn't learn empathy, and I think that's a lot of times why children don't learn empathy.
We used to fall into that trap, didn't we?
Yeah, we
used
did
to do the same.
Yeah, we used to do that because we thought that was the best thing, but we feel it's really important for him to know why he shouldn't do a certain thing. We feel that way just develops his empathy and helps him to care about people more and be more mindful of his actions.
Yeah.
Obviously, if he was running around and went to run in the road or something, we might stop him and say, Jojo, what are you doing? Or something.
That's very dangerous. I guess the reason why you ask this is because in school environments there are some kids that misbehave. What I think is important to know is that if we ever notice any sign where he might be getting frustrated at doing something, we change the environment. We can take him out. We can provide something new, a new stimulation of some sort. So therefore he doesn't get to the point where he would ever do something that would require any sort of discipline or reprimanding. Also, you mentioned, do we not think that our limited knowledge will stop him getting a full balanced education, which will set him back from others when he goes to secondary school?
My sister's a teacher, and we know a lot of teachers anyway, don't we?
Yeah, Sam's girlfriend's training to be one. We've got a friend who's a headmaster.
They don't know everything. They look at their curriculum for the week, they look at what they're going to teach the children, or maybe even that day. Say it's a history subject on like the Battle of Hastings or something, they'll quickly go over it.
1066.
1066.
Not that limited, are we?
They'll go over and they'll say, right, this is what I'm teaching, and they'll read the textbook to the children and they will learn at the same time. So teachers don't often know everything. They're learning with the children as they go along. Yeah, it's the same with us really.
And I've got 3 A levels and 8 GCSEs.
He is so clever. Like, ask him to spell any word.
How are they going to ask that? They'll be spelling it in the comments. Comment below.
Like, he's got an IQ of like 140. He's really good at writing.
But I think the point is we're good in the ways we need to be for Jojo, because we know him, and like we say, if there's certain things we're not sure about, we go and find them out. As far as like going to secondary school and what might be higher education, if we ever felt that we got in a position where we can't teach him enough, we'd get a tutor in or something like that.
Any subject that we feel that we can't teach him, then he'll have a tutor for it.
Does he go to public school once a week or not? No. Full homeschool. Do you believe, having Jojo homeschooled, that he's learning about the outside world? Absolutely. More than he ever could. For those of you guys who watch all our videos, you know that we travel a lot to various places around the UK, around Europe, America, wherever. And he gets so much out of going to these places. And we teach him as we go. We teach him about the environment, the trees, nature, different buildings, environments, cultures, all of these things. He was learning so much in Paris. It was unbelievable. And we didn't take him there for an educational trip.
Just today, we've been out for most of the day and we went to a stall and we bought fruit, and he was learning about how much each piece of fruit weighed.
And the weight and
the weight and how much everything cost. He learned about the word compromise today, diversion, and then he learns these words, and then we basically say to him, now give us an example of where you would use that word, and he straight away will give us an example. And then when we get home, we'll say, why don't we teach you how to spell that word? So yeah, being out and about, it really enhances his learning.
And it's a different environment, it's new things to look at, new smells, new senses, everything being stimulated.
I think there's like studies that show when children are in schools with the same environment, same four walls, same people, it's firing the same neurons in the brain.
Limiting a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, whereas when we're in different environments, then you fire new neurons in the brain.
Might not be applicable to every kid, but that's what the studies have shown for the majority.
It's how we feel about it is definitely the case with Jojo. It was very apparent actually when he was about 7 months old, and we took him to Florida for 2 weeks, and he was in different parks all the time, different colours, shapes, environments, smells.
He developed so much
in that time.
Pulled himself up, started walking aided.
Yeah, he started making more sounds, different words.
Came back a different child, really, didn't he?
Yeah, he was like a different child. So he is a child that really thrives, always being in different environments.
And Jojo's joined us. So how do you get work for him? Do we get it photocopied and sent to us, or do we get textbooks? We've got a few workbooks, textbooks, haven't we? Which we bought before he was homeschooled.
But like I said, my sister's a teacher. She teaches similar age group to Jojo, so she gives me anything I need as well, any resources.
Will he be doing exams at home? If we feel he needs exams, then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's not something on our radar right now, I guess. Where does he get his supplies?
Everywhere, really, don't you? We like we said earlier, we pick up bits and pieces wherever we go.
Is it easier or harder than you thought it would be? And are you going to continue? Yes, we're going to completely continue as long as we feel it serves Jojo best and he is happy. Probably easier than I thought it would be. Because it was something we didn't know about, we were wondering, weren't we? Like, what's it going to be like? But it's been a real joy, I think.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And he's gone again. What has Jojo been learning this year? So yeah, we talked about the everyday subjects that we do, but he did a project on trees before. He wrote his own story. He's made a comic book. He's done all sorts of things, hasn't he? He's done loads of physical things as well. Parkour with Tim, obviously, and Felix. He's done yoga with. Yeah, he's done all sorts really. He's done everything that he would have got in school, but more.
Yeah.
Really, every subject and more. It feels weird. There's a gap where he used to be now.
Yeah. Let's leave the gap though, because he'll probably come back.
Do you think Jojo is academically more advanced than the kids his age? We know from the time he was in school, he was well beyond expectations for reading and maths.
He's always been really academically clever, you know.
And it feels like he's just gone up another level since we've homeschooled him, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Have you seen a change in Jojo since homeschooling? Absolutely. Within a week of him coming out of school and finishing, he was so much happier. He was full of so much energy, his confidence. It was just such a dramatic change. And as time's gone by, that's only increased, really, hasn't it? Oh, and you made the comment, from your videos, Jojo always appears to be outgoing and friendly to all. Thank you for noticing. He is very outgoing and friendly. Have you had any issues with your local authority, and if so, how did you handle it? We've had no issues whatsoever. They've been really supportive, haven't they?
Yeah.
How do you feel about homeschooling a child with autism, moderate end of the spectrum?
You just got to think to yourself, is it right for them?
Yeah.
You know, go with how you feel. Maybe in the holidays, test out a few things, like you try it out.
Get on support groups, Facebook groups, if there's any other parents that have got kids with autism and they're homeschooling them. Ask them what it's like, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, we know some kids with autism that are homeschooled.
And it's done really good for them, hasn't it?
Yeah, and we know some autistic children that are in mainstream school and they thrive very well in mainstream school, but
it depends on the child.
Yeah, it just depends on the child.
Okay, so that is all for all the questions that you asked us, but now we've got a handful of questions for Jojo.
Come on, Jojo.
This is your moment to shine. Okay.
You ready for your questions?
Yeah.
So first question, Jojo, did you want to be homeschooled?
Of course I did.
Simple as that. Do you want to go to school in the future?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
What is Jojo's favourite part of homeschooling?
I think maths.
You like doing maths? That's your favourite thing?
Yeah.
Do you prefer being homeschooled or do you miss going to mainstream public school?
Homeschooling.
Yeah? Okay. This one isn't to do with homeschooling, but what is your favourite country?
Denmark.
Denmark? Any others?
There's also America.
You like America too?
I like America too. Oh.
And also I think Crete.
Greece.
Greece. Yeah. Greece is lovely.
Someone said, what is your favourite homeschooling subject? And you said it was maths, right?
Yeah.
Are you glad that you went to school for a few years, or do you wish that you hadn't?
I think I was like glad I enjoyed it first year.
Yeah.
I wasn't glad I enjoyed it second.
Did it get a bit more difficult, does it?
Yeah, because it gets more difficult and difficult when you go through the years, because it makes you do harder stuff, you know.
Yeah, there's less play, isn't there, I guess?
Yeah.
Jojo, what do you want to do or be when you're older?
I'll be a bus driver when I'm older, and like I'll do handyman work.
Bus driver thing is new. Is it because you stayed on the bus recently?
So you want to be a bus driver and a handyman?
Yeah, at the same time, I'm gonna have like different jobs, different days. So like bus driver on Monday, and then like someone else can drive the bus on Tuesday. But I'm a handyman on Tuesday, bus driver on Wednesday, handyman on Thursday, bus driver on Friday.
I thought you wanted to be a demolition man the other day. Remember we were talking about smashing things up, like smashing buildings up.
I can be a handyman doing that.
He could drive the bus, drop off the passengers, drive to the job, fix stuff, and then destroy it. Jojo, what are your feelings about being homeschooled? How do you feel about it?
I feel happy. I feel very, very happy.
Jojo, what's your favourite colour?
My favourite colour is green.
Yay! Comment below, free game. What's your favourite colours? Any of you green people out there? Green free game?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, you're the watermelon.
Yeah.
Jojo, do you find anything hard about being homeschooled?
Well, not really. Well, I think I find like books hard to write. Yeah, but I don't think I really find anything else quite hard.
No. Jojo, do you ever feel lonely being homeschooled?
Not really, because I still see my friends.
I guess you can whenever you want, can't you still? Yeah, what's your favourite thing about being homeschooled?
I think it's just because I can like relax at home and I just don't have to be at school when they make me to do things. Like they like make me do stuff.
Is there anything that you miss about mainstream school?
I really liked my lunches in the big brown hall.
Is there any lesson that you struggle with?
I struggle a bit with writing just because I need to remember the words and while I'm writing and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you're writing Tom Riddle's diary, you don't struggle, do you?
No struggle, no.
Yeah, I just completely do it.
8 hours free game. Do you enjoy doing Spanish?
I do. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy learning new words and stuff.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you rate Mummy and Daddy being good teachers?
100%.
100! Woohoo!
Who's better teacher, Mummy or Daddy? Mummy!
What?
Yeah!
No! Jojo, are you happier being homeschooled?
Yeah, I am.
So that is all of the questions, guys. That's all of them, Jojo.
Oh, that's nice.
Well done. You answered those questions really well.
And thank you so much, Free Game, for asking all of those questions. We really, really enjoyed answering them, and I hope it's cleared up a lot of the questions you guys have had a lot of the time, because we've noticed little questions popping up here and there, so we're really happy to do this Q&A for you guys. And Jojo's disappeared again. He's gone to play over there. As all of the questions are done now, I'm going to share with you something that I wrote for Jojo's teacher on the last day when we left.
The reason we wanted to write something for her was because we didn't want her to think that it was anything to do with her why we made this decision. She was the most loveliest teacher.
She was great.
She made the decision harder for us. She gave him so much time, and she had like 31 children, but she just did her best in that situation, and absolutely beautiful woman she really was. So we wanted to write something for her. So on the last day we went in, we gave her a gift and a card, and you read out the card to her. And
yeah, which is what we had written in there.
So yeah, we really wanted to share this with you because I just thought it was a really beautiful poem. So here we go.
From the morning drop-off and your welcoming smile that begins our little boy's day of learning. Meanwhile, Mummy and Daddy say goodbye, temporarily replaced by a special kind of guardian that owns that smiling face. Not just any normal teacher, but a special person who knows exactly how to engage our boy to ensure his imagination grows, making every day an adventure, engaging him with such intrigue, and giving him so much extra time, more than we could believe. You ensured he got every bit of support that he could ever need. Time out for exercise, his own desk, his cushion, and a new testing book to read. Keeping him close on trips, whilst always giving thorough explanation of what is to come, so he's comfortable with the newfound information. Thank you for being beautiful, and for blessing our child with your wonderful teachers and energy. For in his life a better teacher we doubt there will ever be. We were blessed to have him there with you in your teaching space, and we thank you for even allowing us to visit that place. No doubt more angelic souls will go there and receive your dedicated time and your dedicated love and energy, so thoughtful and kind. But for now in this place, his journey is now coming to an end, and we thank you for being part of his adventure, and therefore we send you the highest love and best wishes. But we want you to know that your teachings are not the reason of why he will now go. In fact, your commitment and care instead have made it a lot more testing to make this decision we have, as your time for him was such a blessing. Thank you for everything you've given our special little son, and know that you have helped him hugely as his new learning journey has just begun. You will be forever in our hearts and memories after the positive imprint you have made, and be safe in the knowledge this summer of the amazing contribution that you gave. Oh, you've gone again, have you? You're right.
Crying.
It just brings it all back, you know. I'm not crying for sadness, Jojo.
I know.
She was just such a beautiful person, wasn't she? She did make the decision a bit harder for us.
Yeah.
Even though we knew it was the best thing for him. It's been a whole year since I've heard that, and I didn't think I would cry about that.
I didn't think you would cry. Even though we were resolute in our decision to homeschool Jojo, it was important to us that we validated her influence and importance in teaching him, and to let her know that this is just something we find that is based on what he needs and it's nothing to do with her. And
yeah,
you know,
and she did such an amazing job. She really did.
But we hope you have enjoyed this video, guys. Leave your comments below if you have anything to say about Jojo homeschooling, or what you think about homeschooling now you know more information about what we do and why we do it. As for shout outs, we will do them in the next video, as this has been a very, very long video. So if you do have any shout out requests, leave them in the comments below. We'll get them done in the next video for again. And if any of you are new to this channel and you're liking about our lives, homeschooling, you want to see more and what we get up to, we'd love it if you subscribed. For those of you that are subscribed, hit that notification bell so you're kept up to date, and when we do upload videos, you don't want to miss out. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.